Hey everyone, and welcome back to Meats, Treats, and Streets. Today we were going to make some ribs out on the smoker, but unfortunately it's a little bit cloudy and cold and rainy. So today I'm going to teach you how to make ribs right in your oven. So the first thing that we want to do is you want to dry off our meat, get all that excess liquid off there. Now we've already done the other side and we're on the back side now. So the next thing that we want to do is there is a thin layer of skin right here called the silver skin. We want to go ahead and take that off. Definitely easier if you do that when you dry off the meat. So what you want to do is you want to grab this little white skin here, pull that up, and you'll see where it just pulls off all the way around, all the way down the rack of the ribs. And that is called your silver skin. It leaves you with something where your flavors can permeate through the meat and give you really nice flavoring on the back. Now that we have the silver skin off the back of the ribs, what we want to do is we want to try and apply a binder. I prefer to use yellow mustard, but you can use any binder that you want. So what we're going to do is just put a nice thin layer on here. Definitely don't go too heavy. You want it nice and thin so that it doesn't clump up your seasoning. But just make sure you get that all over the meat there. Don't forget the sides. And yes, I do season the back of my ribs as well as the top. All right, that looks pretty good for the back here. Like I said, nice and thin is the way that you want to go. So next step we're going to do is we're going to apply our spices here. Now that we've got the binder in there, I like to use this Traeger Perfect pork rub. Again, you can use any rub that you want. This is what I prefer. It provides a nice flavor in there. So make sure when you're applying this, you hold it up nice and high and try and get a nice even coat. Don't be shy with your rub. Now that we've got that all set, we're going to go ahead and do the same to the top of the ribs. All right, now we just went ahead and seasoned and put our binder on the top rack as well. Like I said, make sure you get a nice coating of that season on there. On the top ribs, if you happen to have a little space like this, you just want to make sure you get that seasoning all down there and as well. All right, we've got our ribs completely bindered and seasoned. Now we're gonna go ahead and put them in the oven. You wanna heat the oven to 250 degrees, stick these ribs in there uncovered for 3 hours. But stick around because we're also gonna be showing you how to make our loaded mashed potatoes. It's gonna be a very delicious dinner. All right, it's been 3 hours, so we have our ribs out of the oven. And next what we're going to do is wrap these ribs up in aluminum foil, put them back in for another 2 hours, and keep that at 250 degrees for the oven. See you guys back in a couple hours. All right, so our ribs are in the oven. They're almost done with the next 2 hours. So we're gonna get started on the mashed potatoes. In our mashed potatoes, we like to have cheese, bacon, some green onions. So I've already got some nice cheddar cheese, freshly shredded here. But we found this cheese that's called Hickory Smoked Cheese by the Thousand Island River Rat Cheese Company in Clayton, New York. This stuff is fantastic. We're gonna put a little bit in there just for a little smoky flavor. Now when I say a little bit, definitely only wanna do a little bit of this cheese in there because it is very strong. So that's about good there. So we're gonna go ahead and take that out. And we're going to mix that in with our regular cheddar cheese. And that's gonna create a really nice flavor. Now I don't know about your house, but in this house, we cannot cut any cheese without paying the tax to the dog. So, come here, Scout. He absolutely loves this stuff. Come on. There we go, nice and gentle. All right, so we'll see you guys back in a few minutes when we take the ribs out, and then we'll get started on our mashed potatoes. See you soon. All right, gang, we've reached that magical time. Time to take the ribs out of the oven. Let's go see how they look. All right, so we're taking them out of the oven. They're still wrapped in their tin foil. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna unwrap them from the tin foil, put them back on the tray, and then slather these things in some sauce. Now be careful, this is gonna be a little bit hot, but not too hot to handle. This is Jess's favorite part, smelling that aroma coming off these ribs. It smells absolutely delicious. I like to take my big fork, scoop it up. Now these are going to be very tender, so you want to be very careful with these. And next we're going to get these over to the tray and put some sauce on them. Alright, so time to sauce up these ribs. We prefer to use the Kinder's barbecue. Today we're using the hickory brown sugar. But you want to put a nice healthy layer on there. Bump that oven up to 350 degrees and put these back in the oven for about 20 to 30 minutes. See when they come out. Alright, so ribs just came out of the oven. Look how beautiful these look. That barbecue sauce has a chance to caramelize on there. Now, you know your ribs are done perfectly if you can do this. Pull on one of the rib bones and see if you can get that out nice and smooth without any meat on it. That's how you know you have a good rib. We'll be coming back with the mashed potatoes in just a moment. Alright, so now we're starting on our mashed potatoes. So we've got our potatoes completely cooked. We added some butter in here. Next we're going to add a little bit of heavy whipping cream. Some sour cream. We don't measure anything, we just cook with love. And then we're going to add some seasoning. And the seasoning that we're using today is from Kinder's, called the Blend, salt, pepper, and garlic. Jess is going to mash these up here for us. My hand is with love. And next we're going to add in some chopped green onions, some bacon pieces, and then finally some of our cheese blend with that fresh shredded sharp cheddar cheese and some of that Thousand Island smoked cheese. Show you what this looks like when it's all done. Alright, and here's what it looks like all finished. I just took a little taste of this and oh my gosh, that is so good. Alright, next we're going to plate everything up. Alright guys, here it is all plated up for you. We've got this nice little caramelization on the outside of the ribs. Came off the bone nice and clean, and those delicious mashed potatoes. Now this is a wonderful, easy dish to do when you're craving that warm summer weather food, but don't have that warm summer weather outside. I'll go ahead and include all the ingredients on here, and hope you guys follow us for more recipes. Don't forget to like, click, and subscribe. See you guys soon.